Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Guido. It's time for Coffee Talk, but you're not here for that, probably. A lot of you might be here for the code. So I'm going to take a natural sip of coffee. I'm going to get back to this coffee cup in a minute for the regular viewers. Actually, that glare is really bad. But you guys are looking for the code, so I'm not going to make you wait. Actually, it's down below. If you're really clever, you clicked on the video and already saw it down in the description. If you're not as clever, then wait a second. I'm going to give it to you right now, so to speak. I don't want to make you wait, but I would like you to hang around if you want to. Check out this webisode, Coffee Talk, where I talk about all things World of Tank. At the end of the week on a Sunday, we grab our coffee, we hang out a little bit, and we talk about World of Tanks. Among other things, I am known to go off on tangents at times. Any event, what are you looking for? You're looking for the code. So here we go. The code is, hold on. I'm one of those advanced age tankers. Goodness gracious. You think I'd be prepped. Glasses are a little bit foggy. Alright, here we go. ZCPA9J9A. It'll be on the screen around here somewhere. Zulu, Charlie, Papa, Alpha, Niner, Juliet, Niner, Alpha. ZCPA9J9A. Again, it'll be on the bottom of the screen right there, scrolling or something of that nature. But if you do stick around, if you haven't been around, then we're going to do this pretty much basically standard. We're going to talk about channel news. We'll talk about missions and specials. I'll get my shill on. I'll tell you what to buy and what not to buy. I never do that, but I will talk a little bit about what is on sale, and sometime I will say what I like and what I don't like. The subjects du jour. Frontline is coming. We're going to talk about Deputy Weekend and maybe a couple other things. I haven't done all my research yet, so we'll get into that. The magic of editing, right? So I can start the video and then later on I can do some looking into stuff. A word that has completely escaped me because I'm old, right? Investigation and whatnot. I just said the word, now it's completely gone. And then we'll have a conclusion. All right, that is it. Let's get on with channel news, shall we? All right, I almost forgot. The next code you'll get is from Air G, from Clan G, on his Twitch channel at 7 CST, all right, Central Standard Time in the U.S. Air G, that'll be down there, and it'll be on the bottom as well, and the link to his Twitch channel and everything. Fantastic player. Really, really good player, all right? So I'm aiming at that intermediate to beginner to advanced players can get something out of my channel as well, I think. But really, if you're looking for that top end, min max, mostly max kind of guy, Air G is someone to watch. Watch him play. I don't know how much explaining he does. I think a little bit, not too much, but wow, talk about a good player. So check out Air G, definitely. All right, it is Mother's Day here in America. So I'm going to knock this out as fast as possible so I can get to the Mother's Day events. I'm going to have to. I sound. She's going to make her have a good day. Anyway, my wife, who happens to be a mother as well, 2 children. Breakfast. I got to do breakfast. I got to go pick up a couple gifts that I've got out there floating about, and then I've got to do a grill out this evening. So I got a busy day. The bad news for me is I have not even got any of the food yet. So I'm a little bit behind the power curve, and I need to knock this out as well. All right, anyway, so happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, you sons of oh boy. All right. So you've seen me waving around this cup. Let's see if I can get this right. The glare's kind of bad. All right. So it says pain is a weakness leaving the body. Unless you have served, then it's probably arthritis. So this was sent by one of you guys. I do appreciate that so much. Having coffee in it today. I do have the t-shirts. I'll wear those in another event. I'm going to spread out the reveal of these things, right? So I'm enjoying a cup of Java in my nice new mug. Now, it was noted by him when he sent it to me that it is a small mug, and well, let's just leave it at that. We've talked about small mugs and big mugs, but it's all right. I'll do a reload, no problem. Really cool mug. Definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, you'll see that I have the Udez 16 here in the garage, which means I have once again unlocked every tank in the game. Wow, that was painful. Actually, that's the 15/16, isn't it? The 16 is the, so it's seared in my mind. The 16 was so painful. I just did a review on that. I just dropped that yesterday on Saturday the 11th. So check that out if you are interested in that line. Not my favorite tier 9, that's for sure. So anyway, that's out there. My next stream should be on the 15th, which will be Wednesday, the 15th of May. Expect that at 0900 CST to about 1200 or so. Internet depending. I've had a lot of internet shenanigans lately. My last stream got interrupted in the middle of it by crummy internet, and about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I sat down and it was fine again. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I think that is all of the channel news. That's it. That's all. That's it. It's over. We're done. Turn it off. No, there's going to be a little bit more. All right, let's move on to missions and specials. It is time to shill. Get your coffee because we're going to get hyped up on caffeine, and we're going to get our wallets out and buy everything we can buy. Does that ever work? Does anybody just buy something? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, people. Hope you got your wallets out. Do 5 push-ups. Give me 5. Enter in your credit card code and buy something. Here we go. Hey, the IS3 is on pre-sale, so if you have a premium account, then you can buy an IS3. I don't think they've sold that. I think they gave it away at Christmas, and then it never showed up, right? Because this is a pre-sale for premium account holders. So there you go. There's your chance. Interesting, it took so long for them to finally kick that out. It was quite a controversy about it being involved in the loot boxes. We're not even going to go there. That is a tangent. Should I? No, I'm not going to. Power-ups. IS3A power-ups, which I assume will work on anything. So, I guess it's reserves. All right, so I said I would talk about things that you would buy and not buy. I would not buy reserves. I really wouldn't. That's up to you. You got the money you want to, whatever. Go for it. Enjoy yourself. There, you have my permission. Right? You now have Guido's permission to use your own money. Isn't that how the politicians work? Isn't it really? When they talk about, oh, we're going to stop your loot boxes, whether or not you have permission to use your money? Huh? All right, I told you. Well, we got off onto it a little bit. We're gonna leave it alone. I don't get too much into politics here. We try to avoid that as much as possible, unless it is revolving or talking about gaming and World of Tanks in particular. IS3 Essentials, which is kits, which I assume works on anything. So this is a new thing. I don't know if I've ever seen them package this stuff like that. And the standard war chest. What else we got? The Berlin. Wait a minute. This was 6 the other day. Oh, it is 6. They screwed it up. These are the things that I love to find. I really do bash their, especially their marketing guys, and their store pages are sometimes just bad, really. Now here's an interest. Oh, it expired. It just expired. I was able to see it just a while ago. That is interesting. I was clicked on it not more than 30 minutes, so it must have been today that it expired. Look at that. Before it goes away, let's just talk about that for a minute. This says Red Cross Day, and you get, I want to say it was 10 first aid kits for $2, which is a decent deal based on what they would call it cost normally. Again, I wouldn't buy kits. That's another thing I wouldn't buy, but same discussion as earlier. However, this is a different tangent because somebody brought this up the other day, and I kind of came down on the side of, whatever, they're marketing and it's how they make money. But at the same time, I do get it because they've splashed Red Cross Day across their website, and they're selling something in conjunction with Red Cross Day, and there's no mention in there that any of that money goes to the Red Cross. I mean, normally, that's kind of what you do, right? If you're going to use a name, a brand like the Red Cross, which, oh, by the way, is not your brand, right? And it's capitalized as in Red Cross, as in the Red Cross, which is a brand with a really good name. You're going to use that and splash it across your website, then you should probably say, hey, you know what? We're going to give 25%, 50%, or whatever of this to them. Now, if that was happening and I missed it, then good on you, Wargaming. If it wasn't happening and I missed it, then that's cheese, bro. Bruh. Oh man, what's my daughter say? It's ski. I can't remember the word. Some. Oh my gosh, I just spilled my coffee all over the place. That's what happens when we get ramped up on caffeine at 6 a.m. in the morning, man. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, bashing this. You get my point, I think, right? On the one hand, whatever. You are, at least you're advertising the idea of it. Okay, that there's a little bit to be gained from that you're advertising the Red Cross and it's Red Cross Day. You're a big company, so you're kind of doing that a little bit. But at the same time, it's a charitable organization, and there's no real indication on that you're giving anything back to them. So you're really just taking, which is pretty cheesy, if you ask me. You know what I mean? It's not anything to go crazy about, but let's just be honest. It is. It's cheesy. If that's indeed what's happening, there's nothing going back to them. All right. I'm a little bit sensitive to that. I work with another charitable organization. I think I've mentioned a couple times. I'll just leave it at that. Under the auspices of the same thing, there that I'm not kind of leveraging them to advertise me. That's a tricky one, because I'm not really making money here. I could be if I got bigger. And there may be a time in the future where I would use that and go, all right, I'm going to do a charity stream, and we're going to give X amount to this organization, this charitable organization. So in that case, then you could use that. If you make an agreement with them, then you can go ahead and use their logos, things like that. That's how I'm aware of this now, because I do work with this organization, and we are kind of sensitive to how that works and who uses our name and how, because it's a good name, right? And all of a sudden it's being used by random people to benefit them, and that's difficult, especially if it's not a good organization that's using it. Now, on the one hand, this is a game about war. You're the Red Cross trying to kind of help and stop that kind of thing. So that's interesting. The last time, see, I'm gonna back off on that tangent. The last time this happened was in relation to the Stop Smoking Day, or whatever, World Health Organization No Smoking Day, or whatever it is. Interesting. So I don't know. That's interesting to me. I may have just bored the snot out of you guys for the last 10 minutes. So let's move on and buy some more stuff. Okay, where are we? We're on gold. I didn't see much big here. This starter kit's good if you're just getting into the game. I mention it nearly every time. Let's go to the next. What do we got? Premium count. Hey, look out for this. I just read on the forum somebody else got stung by this one. That they bought it expecting to get the gold for the LTP. Remember, in the case of premium with a extra tank added to it, you don't get the gold for the tank if you own it. If it's a tank with extra premium added on it, then you do. You have to laugh. You really do. You have to laugh. Okay, looks like Frontline's on the way back. I think it's tomorrow. I have to do my word I can't think of right now. That word is still gone. What is it? Research. That's the one. Let me have a natural drink of coffee. That was pretty good. I didn't smack my lips or anything, I don't think, anyway. The Blue Yeti can pick up stuff like that. It's a pretty good mic. I was actually talking about this with some of the other CCs on the Discord channel. They were talking about different mics they had, and they had some good points. The Blue Yeti is a really good mic that I've got, but it's hypersensitive to kind of small sounds sometimes that are across the room, and then it's got a really low volume. And I've heard you guys talk about, hey, your volume's too low. Sometimes that's just me not speaking up, and it's kind of far away. I don't know, other streamers, you've seen that the mic, is sitting right there in the picture, right up against their face. And I guess it's probably for that reason, because once you are the thing that's far away, the other sounds are now competing with you from far away. So I don't know. I'm not really set up in here as a great studio anyway. Still got my broken window in the back. Man, that's taken a long time. I finally signed the paperwork. They did the measurements. They finally did the write-up for it. I finally signed the paperwork, and I've got to get them a check and order them. And it's been 8 months or 6 or 7 or whatever. I'm not going to do that math, but a long time. That was a good tangent. There was another one. We got off on a hurricane tangent. Okay, where are we? We're on the premiums for sale. Frontline's coming. I will look that up. That's a good frontline tank, by the way. The 432 plus is just probably one of the better overpowered tier 8 light tanks. I was going to call it a medium, but it sort of is a medium. Lightium, it really is close to a medium, and has all the advantages of a light. Good tank. Not so good tank for frontline. The T-3430 fun tank, not so good. FCN, not so good. Decent mobility, but not great. There's the Berlin 5 that has 6 tanks in it again. Oh boy, there's your 30 days of premium with a tank you don't get the gold for, so take that. Your pre-sale IS-3A. The T-103 is still on sale, looks like, for 23 hours. So if you want to buy that bad boy, go ahead. I gave some of those away. I liked it. Interesting. It will be interesting to see how many of those show up in front lines, and maybe a few, because it's pretty good, decently mobile, and has a turret with pretty good depression for a Russian TD. You may see some of these things show up in frontline. That will be interesting to see. What do you guys think? Are we going to have these things show up? I think so. Don't worry about boosters. I never look at that anyway. Featured and specials. Remember, there's a big difference between those two. I don't know what it might be, but there is. And we've got our order all jacked up. Here's another. Look at this. All right, that's nice. All the IS-3s. And then we have 3 of these, but they're all skew-whiffy here. Why not just get rid of this? Take this out and put it down here below somewhere so you have the 3 across of the same tank. Come on, guys. You're killing me. Drives me crazy. Berlin 5. That has 6. That's killing me. Okay. That's enough of that mess. Let's go on to missions. We're doing missions. Let's do it. Okay, folks. The WZ-132-1 is still on track. That is for another 23 hours. I will try to look up research, as it were. What is next? I don't know. That must be on a list somewhere. Supply raid, that's the weekend mission. That's kind of the standard one they have when not much else is going on. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Get some consumables. All right, here's a scavenger hunt. As long as you're following this, let's check it out. So I've got 10 completed. I think I noticed this or noted this last week. I like that they are tracking how many we've done. Unfortunately, what it doesn't track is how many codes you have. It's tracking how many times you have tripped the code. So I've done 10 of the 10 codes. Mine will be the 11th. Actually, I guess I'd have to do that math. I guess I'm 1 code behind. The good news with it is that once you put in the code, you don't have to do the mission right there. All right, you have 2 days to put the code in, which means if you miss a day, you can still get the code, the older code. As a matter of fact, I've seen it go longer than that. I think I put codes in 3 or 4 days late, and it still seems to accept them. But that's just me. I haven't tested that because I want to make sure I get the codes. Once you put the code in, though, you can do the mission at any time until the end of the scavenger hunt. All right, so if you say you had these 10 codes in, that would actually show 0 completed if you had not completed any. You could sit down 1 day and do all 10 in a row. No problem. Okay, so don't worry about doing the missions. Just worry about getting the codes in within about 48 hours. Okay, that's the big deal. There is information out there. I think Domo is going to put 3 codes on everybody's account. I think that's automatic, but I don't know, so kind of pay attention to that. I'll try to report on that if I can find the info. I've only seen it said in the forum, and I haven't seen the original post by Domo yet, so I can ask him. I'll try to figure that out. But I think everyone's going to get 3 anyway, so if you've already missed a couple, you're probably in pretty good shape. So I've got 5. Once you get to 12, which should be probably today, I guess, with my own code, once I play a little bit, if I manage it, then you'll get these goodies. You get to 20. Holy cow, did they put these in order? They did put these in order. What? 5, 12, 20, 30, 31. Good job, guys. That's awesome. Garage slot, that's not a bad deal. 10,000 on the tank that you're playing when you do that mission. Remember that. And then 30,000 experience. Same thing I just said. This is the big deal, though. Every time you do it, you get 3 each of these. That is a fantastic deal. 30 days of that, 3 times 30. Do the math. There's a lot. I don't know. I'm not good with math, but it's more than 10. All right, so play your tank right. This is standard, the 101, 201 stuff. Other missions, not much going on there. ELC 234. That's because I bought those at some point in the past and got my 20 or 50 missions or 10 or whatever it was at times 5. And then the premium missions, which we've talked about in the past, these are the ones, if you got a premium account, You can really crank out some bonds doing these, can't you? 25 bonds right there. Even if you're not playing tier 10 a lot, that will knock out your bonds pretty quickly. Vini, Vidi, Vici. I saw something. Wait, I conquered. Isn't that what it means? I think so. I saw, I conquered. Attributed to Caesar, as I believe. Okay, let's move on. Where are we now? What are we doing next? Let's see here. Mission special. Oh, subjects du jour. Subjects du jour. Okay, so while I was researching, I came across this. I wanted to look at the article for the IS3A and see what was going on with that thing. You can get a T-shirt with this. You get a T-shirt with this. If you're the owner of a premium account, we've got a special offer. The IS3A Heavy Tank is a brawler, much like the Progetto M35 Mod 46. This, oh, I thought he was saying it's a brawler, much like, it's a new sentence. Much like the Progetto, it packs a 3-round inverse auto reloader cannon, and strong frontal armor. Well, yeah, but the Progetto doesn't have strong frontal armor. Anyway. Sentence construction, people. Come on. A great combo to lead the charge. We've also included discounted consumable, yada yada. Wow, you say. Wow. Look, I may give off the impression that I don't love wargaming, and I do. I mean, being a CC has been fantastic. I've enjoyed every second of it, mostly. No, I have actually. I mean, what's not to love? You know what I mean? But I do give him a hard time. This is the discussion I have a lot about the industry behind the industry, the people who work in the industry. You know, you need a lot of people to make this happen. Just making a big web page like this, you got to have quite a staff on hand to do the writing, to do the editing, to do the actual website construction part, to make sure that all the prices are right for marketing. I mean, it goes on and on. I'm sure there's levels of depth there I'm not even aware of. But sometimes I wonder who it is that's writing this stuff, as one example. Wow, you say. This more quotes. This tank sounds like a tough customer. Wait a minute. What is this T-shirt that is included with some of the bundles? After that should be the little dash. Said no one ever. Okay. All right, great. It's a T-shirt. The cool thing is, if you have Amazon, it comes for free. Otherwise, you pay shipping, so it's not really free if you don't have Amazon Prime. And that's one of those bundle things that companies do, especially with Amazon Prime. All right. It's only good for U.S. residents. Now, that's a cool thing because, not a cool thing. It would be nice if it was available for others. But I'm going to say a cool thing that the North American office does is they really look out as best they can for the North American region, and they do things like this. And so that now we have some IS3A T-shirts. Now this one, I'm not really sure what's going on. It's like a breakdown of what it's got. It says IS3A, a World of Tanks, and okay, I mean, whatever. But this was the one that caught my eye. It says, wish my dishwasher had an auto loader. So I was thinking about this on several different levels, right? Especially seeing as it's Mother's Day, and then I went down dark paths I didn't need to go down. It's like, oh, your dishwasher doesn't have an auto loader. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It does make me ask though: is this some bizarre misogynist message, or is it just a really weird thing to say? I mean, I wish my dishwasher had an auto loader. I don't. I feel like it's some kind of veiled misogynist message here. Without white knighting, I'm just noting. I'm just saying. It's very. All right, let's move on. Alrighty, I was right. I am so right. Okay, a couple things coming up here. Number one is Frontline is back tomorrow on Monday. from the 13th to the 20th. And then I haven't noted this yet to Domo, but they're going to do a sheriff's weekend next weekend, and they're already getting signups. But sheriffs are only working, as far as I know, we can only do it on pubs, and that's kind of a bummer because people are grinding frontline, and then you're going to do another cool event, a sheriff's weekend, but for randoms. All right, so that lets randoms have something, and people. Not everybody plays frontline, but I wish the timing wasn't that. I wish they would not put a sheriff's weekend at the last 2 days of a frontline episode. But all that all that aside, you can see that frontline is back. Now, there's some things that have changed, all right? Things that have changed. Let's see if we can find... Oh, here's the 1951. Can you win that right now? I don't know. No, I think you have to finish. Anyway, let's not worry about that. I'm wondering why they put the details out. I guess it's getting close to being able to be unlocked, because you can be 2 ahead. So this will be 4, so you'll have six what is the, not tiers, whatever it is, prestige levels. The max will be 6 you can have, I think, right now at the end of this one. I'm really butchering that, aren't I guess, I don't know. Anyway, a lot. I'm not there, so I'm not worried about it. Well, so what if you're there? I don't care. All right, what are we doing here? We are actually talking about the changes. Okay, so they've done some balance adjustments here. They revamped the airstrike and made it worse. Oh, great. Thank you. First of all, reworked airstrike. Our statistics show that this is one of the least popular combat reserves. Okay. Wow. We use this statistics thing. The game, us, right? All of us together. Not that we have any input on that, but we play the game. We make the statistics for them. They look at the statistics. They change things. And they said, hey, the airstrike's the least popular. That's because it didn't do much, which is a good thing. But they're like, oh, people don't use it. That's a bad thing. Make it worse or better, however you want to look at it. Worse to get hammered by it. Better if you're like, I can blast people from across the map. Okay. Wow. Now they slightly reduced the penetration to better balance these changes. Okay. Copy all. Anyway, more frequent light to medium damage. Oh my goodness. I always carried it. I didn't realize it was least popular. But there you go. They increased the side armor on the objectives, so in theory they won't go down so fast. That was aimed kind of at the light tanks, but I think if you dab 2, you're not going to have a problem anyway. But anyway, it went from about, where did it go? From 165 to 180. It says the light tanks, many of them are around 180 penetration for their standard shell. So, LOL 2. Whatever, guys. I don't. Okay. It's an attempt, so let's see what happens. Why attackers had a huge advantage, right? We all know that attackers are winning right and left, and worse than that for people who are grinding. When the attackers win way fast, you don't have time to grind up the prestige levels. Let's not get off into the tangent about what the whole mode and what its purpose is, i.e. creating a grinding mode in reality and not a mode where you want to win. Anyway, there you go. Engineering and respawns, they changed the engineering system a little bit, the engineering ability. It's available for both teams under existing conditions. However, will reduce the speed bonus for attackers when they capture the base, because that's a bunch of guys with engineering jumping on the caps is how the fast caps were happening so easily, and really difficult to stop if they were committed to it. Okay, so those are all kind of small changes around the edge. I don't really like the airstrike one. I could do without it, but there you go. We'll see how that works. There's actually a change in the spawning. There we go. Respawns. We changed the location of some respawn positions. This was odd to me. I couldn't figure this one out. Players from the attacking team will now be able to avoid situations where they respawn too close to the base. I have no idea what they're talking about. I played a lot of frontline. I never once, as an attacker, ever respawned too close to the base. I respawned too far away from the next place I don't get that. And as a defender, I respawned way too far away as well, to where I could not get to there to defend. And are destroyed almost immediately. Attacks surrounded by tanks of the defending team. The only possibility that that might be a factor in is if they are pushed really forward on the first three objectives, where you don't really have much room back there near the beach to respawn. But I don't think I've ever seen. I've never been destroyed immediately as I spawned in on the attacker. I don't quite understand that. Very strange. Anyway, Frontlines is coming and it's got a few changes, so let's see what happens. That starts tomorrow. Okay, moving on. It looks like we've got another iteration of the rebalance. They keep calling it the medium tanks rebalance, but it's really only a few tier 10 tanks. Whether it expands into more, I don't know. This is, I don't know what to say about this stuff. It's driving me a little bit batty, but Leopard 1. From its inception, we envisioned this tank as a mobile sniper, able to react swiftly to the battle dynamic and lend support to allies. All right, so it's always been a fast tank. Fair enough. It's going to be APCR. They've increased the pen up to 323 millimeters. The new special shell will be APCR 2, as we told you before, but its armor penetration will be improved even further to 323. So now we're getting into this. We're still in the yo-yo between armor and penetration and gold penetration. They can't make their minds up here. Now we're going to have an APCR round with a massive penetration. But we've got other tanks with absolutely horrendously bad APCR penetration, i.e. the UDS 16 at tier 9, which gets a whole 29 extra pen with its gold round. Now we're doing a rebalance and we're adding ridiculous pen to APCR rounds. So what are we doing? The gold round is a huge problem. And they're doing all this before they do the gold round rebalance thing, where supposedly, at least right now, the plan is to reduce the damage of a gold round. I can't figure out who's in charge here and what on earth we're trying to do. The STB-1. Currently, STB-1 is a generic tank, okay, which plays pretty well at mid-range but lacks a unique style. We intend to create one. Good Lord. Save us from them trying to create unique styles for tanks. How about you just make the tank decent, and then the players will create the unique style from there. They're going to introduce the hydraulic. So it's got -10. It will get up to -12 with the same thing as the Swede tanks have when you go slow. Go from 10 to 12. Because of the introduction of a new mechanic, the tilt input, tilt input will be split 50-50. 6 degrees at the expense of the hull and 6 degrees at the expense of the gun. Should we get positive test results? So that's interesting. The total gun depression will increase from 10 to 12. Oh my God, so they're doing this again with this. This is the problem with the Swedish tanks. All right? They have low depression like 6 degrees, and then when you go slow, you get that extra 6 degrees. It doesn't work, folks. Hey, developers, it does not work in the way your game is played. If you make the STB that way, where you only get 6 and then you have to creep forward to get the rest of the 12, it's going to be an absolutely miserable tank to play. Might as well just leave it at 10 and forget the extra 2 in the hydraulics. Now, if it's 10 and you get 2 more with the hydraulics, but that's not what I'm reading here. Don't do this, because it's a terrible game mechanic for your game. It doesn't work. It works, right? I mean, physically your coding works, all right? That's fine, but it doesn't work with the way the game is played. I'm just telling you straight up right here. It's not good. It's not good, and it's going to make that tank miserable. Absolutely miserable. And it looks like the 30B. We'd like to run one more test with its stats unchanged, so it will transition to the next stage as it is. Okay. That must mean that whatever the last iteration was they're keeping, which that iteration they canceled because it wasn't good. You'll notice there's no mention of the 430 and 430U. They're fine. They're fine. Oh, yeah, I love this stuff. All right, last things last. Tracking the scavenger hunt codes. 2 places I have found. The Armored Patrol is actually putting them out daily, so you can go over to the Armored Patrol. Shout out to those guys. You can go to the forum. There's multiple threads tracking. I think the best one here is probably Iron Mike 11B, and he has them all listed right there on the first post. All right, so there's all the codes right there. Mine will get added to that, I'm sure, once I kick it out. Actually, you've already got it. We already talked about this. All right, it's already it's already done. We talked about it. It's in the front. If you missed it, if you watched this whole thing and missed it, good on you. That's fantastic. That means you're here for the duration. But it's down there. All right, it's down there. And go see Air G. So those are the two places you can get that. As always with my research, shout out to. See, now I'm kind of now I'm sensitive to the whole discussion about making sure that you give credit where credit is due, right? The old Red Cross thing. Anyway, Daily Bounce, Status Report, Armored Patrol. Shout out to all those. Those are great blogs for getting information. Go see Air G tomorrow. Learn something from his stream. Subscribe to me. I mean, if you went this long and watched this whole thing, then surely you need to subscribe to my channel. Let's try to push this thing up to 2,000. See how it goes. That is all I've got. Let me turn this thing off. Oh my gosh, it's hard. Okay, there we go. That's all I've got. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Sunday if it's not Mother's Day, wherever you are. Thanks for the coffee cup. I am down to the last of it. We're going to wrap this package up. Make sure I put the code on the first part with all my magic editing and whatnot. And we will see you Monday for, I hope anyway. I may not have a miserable Monday this Monday. I'm a little bit behind with the Mother's Day thing. We'll see how that goes. But that is it. That's all I've got. We'll see you guys later. Happy tanking.